TikTok is here. What's up, TikTok? Twitter is here. X. Welcome in, X. And YouTube. YouTube is here. Welcome in, everybody. Today, we are cooked, and we don't have much time. Welcome. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. I have an hour or two before Christmas dinner, so that's our time frame for the current stream. And I want to show you how cooked we are using AI. In a previous stream, I did one-shot prompting where I built several applications with a single prompt, these four in particular. And as of yesterday, I'm a liar because I started doing this crawl TCG using multiple prompts. It's not one shot. So GenAI one-shots is now a lie. A monorepo focused on apps built with GenAI, that's still true, but many prompts went into this. I built this in a day. I'm gonna demo the crawler TCG. So what are we gonna do today? We're gonna do a demo of the crawler TCG. I'm gonna do time-boxed development on a Latterly alternative from scratch. So in case you don't know, hi, my name's John. I'm a staff software engineer with over 10 years of experience. I'm the lead maintainer of the open source Latterly.io. You can sign up for free. And I've been working on this thing for like 3 years or more. And let's see if we can replace it within a week. I'm not gonna be coding on this stream for a continuous week, but we're gonna get a 1 day and we're gonna see how far we can get to completely replacing this guy from scratch. And the goal here is to identify limitations of the AI because the tests I've done so far show few limitations, not zero, few. And there are some things that I want to test in this time-boxed development. I want to test the edges to see if we can really get to basically the ability to replace Latterly within a week. If I can get a certain degree within this stream, then I will have a guess that I should just do the website from scratch. And if that fails, then I'll fall back to option 2, which is enhance Latterly with AI instead of replacing Latterly with AI. But both options are on the table today. We could be cooked. We could be seeing the end of the current Latterly website. So that's the agenda. Demo, time-box development, and then a review of limitations. Here's some limitations I've seen so far, but we're going to circle back at the end of the demo and see how many of these remain. One is with game development, multiplayer is still a pain point. So getting a game that works on my computer, really straightforward. Even getting a game that I can deploy to production, as long as it's a single player app, even getting it integrated to a database with industry leaders is pretty straightforward. And there's really two industry leaders. One is Cursor, the Cursor agent, which uses the Cursor IDE, and the other is Lovable, lovable.dev. And I'll show you both of these. So multiplayer is a limitation, even with these industry leaders. Cost is a limitation. I have to pay for Cursor Premium. I have to pay for Lovable. Supabase, I need to pay for a non-free tier because these tools want to use Supabase edge functions, and that costs compute, which you get a very restricted amount of free tier compute. You can build a portfolio project. You're not going to build a production application on the free tier. There's, with an asterisk, there's certain things you can do in production even on the free tier, but most production level applications, you're going to end up paying. Context size is a limitation, whatever. I'll circle back and go through the limitations. There are some. And then I'll do workarounds. So when I get to debug traps, there's some workarounds like that. For example, the AI does not know that it can improve its ability to debug if it constructs tests and logs certain things. So the developer is going to come in here and inject some expertise. Expertise is still valuable in 2025. And basically you can empower the AI to work much better. And existing code-based comprehension is a question mark. That's one of the things that I'd like to deal with today. If I bring in the Latterly code base as opposed to starting from scratch, does it perform as well? So these AIs are doing really good greenfield development, but how do they operate in a context where I'm bringing them in to work on an app? And then after this time-box development, we'll circle back to the limitations and make a forecast to 2025. Currently, at the outset, I'm thinking there's going to be a lot of developer jobs, maybe even more developer jobs. I'm expecting a pop in Q1, but it's going to change the way we work. And I think we're going to see major adoption of these tools, and I think the market will reduce concentration so that currently there's really only two good options. OpenAI is not in the running. I tested it. Gemini is not in the running. Their agents are not good enough. But I think in 2025 that will change, and I think they'll become good enough. The OpenAI canvas right now is like a very poor developer experience, but I think that will change. So let's get into it. So here's the GenAI one-shots repo. I already cloned it to my local, and I'm going to walk you through the Evergreen crawl TCG, which I developed on a different computer, on a Mac computer notably, but hopefully it spins up and runs on Windows pretty straightforward way. Before we get in, I do want to call out Dreamlab. So the limitation with multiplayer, Dreamlab seems to solve it. That's the good news. Here's the bad news. Posted September 2024 is outside of the Claude cutoff, knowledge cutoff. So another one of the AI limitations is the knowledge cutoff. They're not familiar with the new library versions and stuff like that. Another case where developer expertise needs to come in and assist the model. So I will be preferring Phaser.js, and then Pygame is also pretty cool. Those are kind of the two tools that I've seen broad AI support for. So there is a limitation on the language support and architectural support, okay? Python and then web development, JavaScript, TypeScript. The language models are good with these. More exotic languages, there's less training data, they're less effective. And then even within those languages, I really see them leaning to a particular architectures, particular library sets, including fast API. And so depending on your architecture, you might get less performance with the AI. And so we need to deal with the question, should I start from scratch following the architecture the AI knows really well, or is it worth it to bring it into an existing code base which might have a slightly more exotic architecture and then lean on developer experience to patch the difference? That's what we're investigating today. So I just wanted to call out Dreamlab. I think this is really cool, but it's out, AI is currently not good with it. In 2025, we might get a new training run and AI may become aware of Dreamlab, but check it out. Really awesome multiplayer support in TypeScript, but I can't really use AI for that right now. Okay, so let's open up Cursor. Here's Cursor. Welcome in, chat. Throw some likes on the video if you think it's interesting, and we'll get the algorithm sending the video around. Let's get going. So here, I've cloned out GenAI one-shots. I am in the Evergreen crawl TCG terminal. And so I think this is where I can UV, make sure I have UV on this computer. Yep, so I can UV run. Actually, let's see which Python. So UV install UV pip install. R, the PyProject toml, UV venv. Okay, so we've installed the backend, which is a fast API architecture using a SQLite database. Easy to transition into Postgres, but we'll be doing SQLite for now. And now I want to run Uvicorn. I need to source my virtual environment. Source. This is covered in the README, but I'm just not looking it up. Venv. Ben activate, right? Venv. Sorry. ls dot venv. I think it's source. Okay, let me check my README. I'm expecting to source bin, but I guess that's the wrong folder name. Source. Yeah, that's what it says too. Oh, scripts. Okay, there's a Windows difference already catching up with us. So this might not do well on Windows. Let's see. Source this. Need to change the slashes around because I'm using git bash. All right, now I've activated it so I can say which Python and I should get my virtual install. There it is under the virtual folder. So now I should have Uvicorn. Okay, so I have it. So now I can run the server. Cool. All right, so my Uvicorn server is up. I really like developing on a Mac a lot more, but this is where my streaming stuff is set up. Okay, so here is the Uvicorn server. It says not found. That's fine. That's expected. Fish fillet, what are we making? We are demoing this evergreen crawl TCG. Okay, so I have uvacorn in one terminal, and then I need to have the UI run separately. This is one of those inconveniences of the architecture that the AI prefers. So it's the AI preferred architecture, but it's less convenient. I need to have two terminals, one running the back end, one running the front end. And it's going to be using a Vitest runner for the front end, where if you had a different architecture, you could do a full stack run in one terminal, which is what I prefer as a developer, but it can confuse the AI. So here's Gen AI one-shots. We're going to the evergreen crawl folder. Now I want to go to the front end folder. I'll npmi. I might prefer pnpm. Again, it's what the AI suggested. So npm run dev. Cool, it installs just fine. So here's Vite, and we're on 5173. Oh, and we're already getting some issues. Good. Now I'll bring up the cursor agent, and it will help us resolve this issue. Okay, so this is the component, and it's failing to import this. It's failing to import this. Source. Yeah, actually, I don't think this is even needed, but whatever, let's ask the AI. So I'm going to Control I. I'm going to go to agent mode, click that agent button right there. GPT-4o, I'm going to switch over to Sonnet, and then I will paste this issue, and I will say on Windows. On Windows, npm run dev yields. And I just dump the terminal issue. And you can see it brought it into context lines 108 to 138. Okay, so it says we need to install this stuff. Cool, let's do it. My Control V isn't working, that's weird. Okay. How about now? Okay. I'm still getting this issue. Is this cursor Xord? Yes, it is. Welcome in. Welcome in. Throw some likes on the video, y'all. We're just getting started with this stream. Thanks for being here. So we'll accept all of the changes that it recommends. I'm actually surprised it didn't change this CN line. We can try updating the import. Source UI. Front end source components UI. Oh, it's dealing with the wrong path. Look at that. I'm going to instruct it to review the README files to understand the app better as well. And I'll see, we can see the files that it's tracking down here. This is kind of its memory bank, the agent's memory bank. npm I d at types node, okay. And I will tell it that I ran this. I ran the npm. Oh, first of all, we'll accept changes. And then I'll say I ran the npm install in another terminal. Okay, so it's changing the vytest config. Let's see if that worked. Look at this. This is interesting. It's not updating this line, which I expect it to do. Okay. So now it's going, oh, we need to upgrade the TypeScript config. Okay, cool. We'll accept that change. Let me see. Do we really need CN in this file? Maybe we can just remove it. So here we'll just try getting rid of CN, and it's applying it somewhere else. Look at this. It's applying this to the wrong folder. I'm just going to outright tell it, you are applying changes to the wrong file. You are updating. I want to update. And you can see how it's really not replacing me, right? I have to work with this tool. And now it's latching onto this file as I expect. And now the errors in the file have been resolved. Over here, okay, so I'm going to have this libutils issue in a bunch of files. This is technically a different issue, though. So I'm going to tell cursor. Now I want to see the git diff pop up over here. Okay, so it's changing the right file now. Okay. And now I can see the Evergreen UI. Believe you're mixing server side and client side. Brandon, thank you for the follow. No, the client side is using Vite, and the server side is in Python using Fast API, running on Uvicorn. So pretty different. Okay, so we're going to try to create this game. And here we go. This is the dungeon crawler. I can open up the console. There's some logs down here you can see. And you can see it's talking. Let me refresh the page. Now you can see there's a saved game. So autosave is implemented. I can load this. Interesting thing with the loading the autosave, it restarts the dungeon. So if you change dungeons, it'll start you at whatever dungeon you were at most recently. That's not like an AI limitation. That's just a limitation of how far we got with the implementation. But I'm basically giving you this demo. So I can create a new, it gives you this name by default. Say Altoid. Create a game. And now you see Altoid down here. And they're accumulating gold over time. So this is like an idle feature. So like over time, you just accrue energy or gold or whatever. I can delete these, right? And I did this code, everything that you're seeing here, I did inside of a day on a Mac computer. And then I was able to get it to run on Windows. And let's check the backend console. So the Uvicorn server is like totally happy. And I was able to fix up, let's say, Feature Windows compatibility in the course of what, like 10 minutes? Let me stage and then commit. Okay, and so the game, I'll do a monster battle. You can see the red monster squares. You can implement sprites really easily. I just haven't done it. Let's go over to the shop. So here's a shop, okay? Right, it's not like the world's best game, but the bones are here. And you could easily implement sprites. Sound is implemented. I don't know if you're able to hear it. I'm not like playing it out of my speakers. And then here's the battle UI, and it's also like pretty goofed up, right? There's like a lot of problems with it. Let me do a heavy strike and then block in my turn. Here's my green health bar, the enemy health bar. I don't see what the enemy move is being played. These are things that could be easily added. So I don't think that they're that interesting. Let me run away. This guy's about to beat me. Oh, defeat. Oh, no. So what happens in the case of defeat? Whatever. It's just not fully implemented. And there, I made it to the exit. So cool. I made it to the end of the dungeon there. Here's a deck builder over here. It's just not built out. But that gives you the basic demo of the app that we have. So it's a card game, right? And you can like buy cards. You can buy a random card. I guess I have money to afford a random card. Oh, and now we have an issue here. So let's go over to Cursor and tell it. So I have an unprocessable entity on the server side. So this means I asked the shop to let me buy that card and there was some issue. I will open up the composer again. Let me close others. I tried to buy a card from the shop. And I'll say shop scene.ts and received a server error. So let's see how fast it can fix this error. I think the issue is in the Uvicorn side, don't you? What is it proposing here? It's proposing, oh, we need to modify the API call to include the item type. Could you show me the content of API? See, it should be able to find this. I wonder if there's a limitation on the Windows cursor. Oh, and now I'm noticing update cursor in my lower left, so maybe I just need to update cursor. Agents can decide to edit multiple locations in parallel. Okay. So I need to install this update. Let's do that. I'll probably have to restart the things. Interesting. So maybe it's just that much better that recently. Going back into the location, let me source venv scripts. And then what's here? What was it? Activate. Okay. So Uvicorn is back up over here. Vite is back up. Refresh the page, and it remembers my saved game because it's using that SQLite database. So it's saved. Even though my server went down, I still have my game state. Dog Lover, thanks for sharing. Thank you so much. Okay, so Cursor asked me, and I'll tell it, I'll answer the question. It might have lost its context, by the way. That's a common feature of working with the AI agents, is that you need to deal with it a little bit so that it reads in the proper files, and then it will start to understand your app much better. I can bring in this README, and then I'll bring in that API.ts on the front end. So I'll say I've attached the API.ts from the client as well as the backend README file for the Fast API server. We have two options. Update the API endpoint to expect the data in the body recommended. And then can you show me the fast API route? See, I'm surprised by this, but I guess it's kind of still loading context. The fast API route definition. Here's the game file and then the main py file. I've attached the fast API route definitions. Read them, then make whatever change you recommend. Utah Tech, thanks for the follow. Consider throwing some likes on the video, y'all. Thanks so much for being here. The likes help the algorithm send the stream out to other people who might be interested. Okay, so I accepted these changes. Uvicorn restarted just fine. It's got hot reload. They both have hot reload. Okay, so let me load this game. And we're walking around. And I'll try to find a shop. Oh, let me run away. Run away. Here's a shop, that dollar icon. Okay, so now, purchase successfully. Purchase successfully. What did I get? Cards received. I got a fire mage. That's cool. Let's buy another one. What did I get? I got a basic healer. Boo, lame. Actually, my gold is not decremented. That's crazy. So I could buy a bunch of cards. Again, not an AI problem, just a limitation of the implementation. So I can go ahead and do that right now. Update the shop logic so that when I purchase a card, my gold is decremented. Currently, I can buy many cards because my gold is not decremented. Brandon says, what tool are you using? Here I'm using Cursor Composer, the agent form. The agent is where it will actually go into your files and make the changes. Big, big difference. The implementation of these purchase functions. So it's saying, please share the implementation. I'll say, try to discover the implementation by investigating the README and routes and their imports. Okay, so let's look at the change that it made. It made a change over here. So it found purchase featured card. It discovered it itself. And then it made some changes. I could review the changes in detail, but I'm just going to go along with the suggestion here. We also need to ensure the player model has an add card method. Could you show me the player model implementation? Again, it should be able to figure this out. Based on what you know, where do you expect the player model to be located? Here I see it's generating a lot. When I worked on the Mac, I saw it saying reading file, and I haven't seen it do that here on Windows. I think that's interesting. Have you ever used Kserve to build model pipelines? No, I haven't used Kserve. Where did you go to school? I went to school at Austin Community College, then University of Houston, and then George Mason University is where I got my PhD. It's really crazy to me that it can't read this file automatically. It's attached. So I think we're noticing a difference between the Windows implementation and the Mac implementation. Okay, so it has suggested an add card feature, which it previously didn't have. Let's accept that. I'll restart the game. And I see this error in the terminal, or in the developer console, so I'll put that there. Oh, cool username. Is that Barud? Barud, am I saying that right? Welcome in. Notice I got some server errors that time. We'll see if that happens again. Okay, no issue here. Starting a game. Oop. Ah, we have changed the model and not run the migration. So I'll paste the error. Do we need to re-migrate or recreate the DB? Very often appending, so here's the small injection of developer expertise. Very often, small changes to the prompt like that will make a big difference. And it agrees. It says that I need to delete the game. Delete the game. It suggested some line breaks. I don't really understand the benefit of that. So I'll rm evergreen crawl DB, that's my SQLite database. So I've wiped the database. I guess I'll accept changes, whatever. It was just some line spaces. Is this not scary for devs? That's the thing. That's the thing. It's kind of crazy, right? And then I'll say server logs. So just distinguishing the server logs from the client logs is useful to the AI. I've built many AI tools to enable other developers to be efficient. Cool, congrats. DevOps is meta. Thanks for being here. For Just, what are you coding? I'm demoing / doing a few developments. I'm pretty much done. I mainly just wanted to demo this evergreen crawl TCG, which is available open source GenAI one-shots on GitHub. And it's this folder right here. Yeah, this looks like it could mess up the number of devs in a team. It could, right? You wouldn't need to hire as much. Or you could do more stuff. The limiting function really starts to be the ideas in the company rather than the manpower, right? Although many companies are not even allowing these tools right now. So that's another reason that the displacement of developers has been exaggerated is because economists like me have not taken into account the slowness of employer adoption. Like once the tool is there, you don't need to hire as quickly. That's true. But getting the tool in is actually like an uphill battle in a lot of companies, believe it or not. Because employers are scared about what the AI can generate. Okay, so we're making a new game. All right, we instantiated the game. And I have 253 gold now. Let's go see if it decrements when I buy a card. Nope. Buying a card from a shop yields this client error. And see, I'm giving it both errors, but I'm annotating them. And this server side error. One of the really cool things with using the cursor Claude Sonnet, I don't get that rate limiting. Like it seems to be moving really fast, and I've seen it do not one-shot prompt, but just like a conversation back and forth a lot. Okay, so it's basically passing one more argument. That makes sense to me. I don't know why it's adding all of these line breaks. That seems unnecessary, but all right, let's restart. I guess I didn't really need to restart. I could have just tried to purchase it right there. Okay, so the purchase went through, but my gold is still 253 in the nav bar. The purchase was successful, but I still see my gold is unchanged in the UI nav bar outside of the canvas. I'm also noticing that my level is not shown as is not shown. I'll just leave it like that. There's the navbar TSX. It found it. So it's starting to understand the code base better now, isn't it? Gold is 253. Let me look at that. Look at that. Why is my gold 253? This is very strange. Run away. Is there a shop in here on this floor? Oh no, am I surrounded by monsters on this floor? Ah. I'm cooked in more ways than one. We made it to the end. Woohoo. Let's buy a basic card. And this shop page is just not working at all. The gold in the nav bar is still out of sync. It should not display any number before I load a game. And it should reflect the correct amount after I do load a game. Please also display the username next to the gold and level on the nav bar. So I'm using kind of a chain of thought. Doing too much at once is going to confuse the model. Quick Deals, thank you for the follow. I also want to update that /shop route on the UI, but I didn't prompt it to do that right now because I want to do like one or a few things at a time. Also update shop in the card in the UI so that buying a card works there as well, not just in the shop scene. So it says looking at the project structure. So now it's getting more familiar with my different files and where they're located. And it's made, how many code changes did it just make? How long would that take a developer to do, you know? This is still not correct. Let me manually go find the file now. Control-Shift-F, Control-V. Here's progress player stats, gold or 0. Yeah, see, it's not even showing my username. So I'm going to be really specific right now and say in navbar.tsx, I want to see the current username and level. I don't see a level rendered in this block. So I'm being really specific now, right? How many people have you gotten a job? Probably a dozen. Maybe more than that, but that's like how many testimonials I have. I've taught tens of thousands of people over social media, and the majority of them do not give me a testimonial, right? But so, and that's kind of on me. It's like, how much time do I want to spend going and like asking like, hey, how did things go for you? Like, and doing kind of like user interviews. Like, how did things go for you? Did you get an improvement? Did you get a raise? Did you get a job? Whatever. Did you build that tool? So you can go to the website, latterly.io. A bunch of the testimonials are on there. I just got like a great one like yesterday. But so I think a dozen or two is conservative. So let's get to a stable point and then I'll pause and we'll be done with the demo. So it wants me to restart my DB. I'll accept these changes. I'll stop Uvacorn. It says like, oh yeah, I noticed like you don't have a function in your code that like records the level. That was the issue. So here I'm restarting. Since I wiped the database, there's no save games. That's fine. We'll make a new one. It loads. Good deal. My gold says 315, which is not expected. That should have said 0. Unless let me see. Unless it started me with a bunch of gold. Let's see. Gold remaining is 50. Gold remaining is 2. And now it's saying that you can't buy. So we've fixed the problem from the server perspective, but the navbar.tsx is still not updated. Also make sure that players begin at level 1, not level 0. Let's make sure that's an integer. I don't want to float level. Okay, so I'll accept these changes, and now I want to go look at the player file. It's an integer. It's non-nullable. Cool. You still haven't updated. Oh, I've been telling it the wrong name. That's the issue. I'm so sorry. I was talking about navbar.tsx, but the file is source components navigation.tsx. Please review that file, update it appropriately, and remove the extraneous navbar.tsx. Alex, print Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Alex. Thanks for being here. I'm enrolled in launch school. Cool. Good job, Homer. Thanks for being here. Let me know how it goes for you. If you have any trouble finding a job, shoot me a message and we'll get that taken care of. But I think launch school is pretty good from what I know. I mean, I'd love to hear your experience. How has it been going so far? So now I'm refreshing the page. I'm going to create a game. I see no navigation. I no longer see a navbar or a navigation component. Did you update the consuming component appropriately? So navigation, it looks updated properly. I'll control shift. While it's looking, I will concurrently look myself. Navigation. So here's app.tsx. This is where it should update the navigation. In case it can't find it, I will tell it. Could you show me the component that was previously rendering? Okay, so that's the issue. It couldn't find it. It's probably at one of these. It got it right. It's in the app.tsx. So it's right, but you see it needs that help. And you could see it even found the error, which is like, I updated navigation so that it needs the ID and it's missing. So it's going to go add that now. I'll accept these, but I already see an issue. On the deck builder, the error is coming from shop and deck builder components. So it's going to go change those. Could you show me the shop and deck builder components? It's already made the proper change. I'll go ahead and, just to prevent model confusion, I'll say I've attached those files now. So one thing that these agents can do better is a preliminary reading. And this is when I was talking about limitations at the top of the screen. Existing code-based comprehension is a limitation. So it takes a while. You have to like work with it. It's almost like it has to touch that file before it understands what's going on. If there could be a more eager reading of the files, that would be really useful, I think. Okay, so I'm over here. Let's refresh the page. There's now an issue with button TSX. Not sure why. And look at all these changes that we're racking up. Cool, so we're exporting out of the utils function now. That makes sense. All right, it looks more stable now. Let me create a new game. And now there's my username and my gold, but the level is not rendered. That's interesting. This is the last fun thing I'll demo. The agent can see a picture. So I'll take this picture on my clipboard, right? And then I'll say, see this image of the UI. Level is not rendered. Batman, thank you for the follow. Toby, what else can I use? Use effect except for getting API. You could use query. So you could use like TRPC or TanStack. Those would be some other recommendations I would give you. But use effect is actually okay. I know use effect gets a lot of heat. That has to do in part with the dependency array, which can be tricky to manage. In the newer versions of React, it does depend on what React version that you're using. But particularly with the React compiler in the newer versions, the dependency management in the use effect dependency array is much better. And there's also ESLint rules that can make sure that you're using that properly. So I think use effect in 2025 is okay. I think it's okay. TanStack is great. Other options are really great, but use effect is okay. I'm not on the team that like use effect is a code smell. Disagree with that. Okay, so refreshing the page. Oop, some kind of issue here. Before loading or creating a game, I visit the app UI and see. And here I'm going to inject some of that developer expertise. Make sure we only call for these things if a player is currently selected. Joe says, you mentioned a way to prepare for algorithm problems. What's the name of the platform? It's latterly.io. Ultimately, it's going to be LeetCode, right? That's where we go. But when you go to LeetCode, what problems do you use? So blog article number 3, Latterly LeetCode Kata, is a super beginner-friendly way to onboard into data structures and algorithms. You should only be doing this after you have been coding for a while. Don't start your coding career with LeetCode. Build a project or two, and then go into LeetCode after you've got the basics of coding down. Cool, so it's updated the setup screen here. Looks good to me, and I no longer see that error on load. Let me create a game. Level 1, we're getting it. And that's gonna pause the, let's also purchase. When I purchase a card, that gold is still not updated. Two issues remain, and then really I could pause it right now, but I'll nickel and dime myself and do this really quick. 1, when I purchase a card, my gold in the navigation, it's called navigation, right? I was getting the name wrong earlier. is not updated immediately. And then 2, if I can't afford a card, I do not get feedback in the game. The call simply fails silently for the player. We'll resolve these 2 and then I'll be done. I wanted to fix that gold is kind of how we got started down this path, which had some side benefits too, like showing the username and the level. But getting that gold in sync was the main goal. So you can see it's making server-side and front-end updates, like at the same time, very, very quickly. Very, very quickly. Is it telling me to install? Yeah, I need to install React Hot Toast. Okay, so it's going to use this toast. Oh, I should not have done that. I just installed in the server folder. That's my fault. So let me roll that back. Package lock should not be in the server folder, so I'll roll this back. Let me also stage these files in case I need to roll something else back. Next time it's going to be easier. Move a core and run. All right, that looks good. So now we have the hot toast component. I guess it's going to use that when I can't afford a card. Okay, so I bought this. Yeah, so the server is telling me this. The server properly shows, but the toast is not displayed to the user. The React app is not listening to phaser.js events. Remember that the shop scene is contained within Phaser. This will help you implement in-game purchase cannot afford card notification, and it will help you keep the navigation.tsx in sync if we can have the navigation component subscribe to messages from the game. So this is actually moderately complicated, what I'm asking it to do. I want my phaser component, which is isolated to that canvas. I want it to push out messages and affect the overall React app, including that navigation tab. And look, it seemed to understand it. It got that ah, yes. So here it's implemented an event. Should be using the web API, I think. Events.d, that's fine. Game object text. Let's see, where did it go? Yeah, here's a custom event. So we're using the web API. Event listeners, window event listener, exactly what I expect. Okay, we'll create this game. My gold is 100, that's fine. When I step on a treasure tab, I'm not incrementing my gold, but I'm not gonna handle that right now. Good, and you see my gold got updated. So I'm gonna pause right there. We're in a good stable state, no errors on this console. Let's make sure no errors on the server. We're in a stable state, so I'm gonna commit and we'll be done. So this is feature sync nav with game state. So previously the navigation state was isolated from that game state. Now they can intercommunicate, which is like moderately complex thing to do. That could take a developer like 1 to 3 days traditionally. How often should I use vanilla JavaScript to create project without other library like React.js? Until you understand the basics, I usually recommend only one or two. Only one or two. And I would rather you make, if you make one and it's basic and you're like, I feel like I didn't quite get it, I'd rather you make that one more awesome than making like 5 introductory level complexity ones. Does that make sense? So I really think you only need one vanilla project, and that is what Latterly recommends. So if you go to the Latterly Big 4 projects, latterly.io blog, portfolio, building a quality portfolio, article number 2. Vanilla is like the first thing that you should do, is like learn the fundamentals first, but you really only need one. And you can go straight from vanilla.js to Next.js. And if you feel like you didn't quite get it, you can build like 3 other basic ones. For some people that helps. Generally, my recommendation is make that blog more awesome. Just like work on that blog some more. So you're not dealing with the intellectual overhead, the cognitive overhead of like building a bunch of apps. It's just one app. You know how it works. And you're dealing with like one more feature at a time. And then you can learn like, oh, this is how to JavaScript that thing. This is how to JavaScript that thing. It's a better learning experience, I've found. Hope that helps. Thanks for being here. K7, what tools are you using here? We're using Cursor IDE with the Cursor agent. This is the Cursor Composer in agent mode using Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Okay, so that concludes the demo of Cursor. Let's do a time check here. Yeah, I think I have like 30 more minutes. You've seen some of the limitations, right? Now let's do a time-boxed development. It's only going to be 30 minutes, not a whole hour. We'll do time-boxed development of a Latterly alternative from scratch. And here I'll do 2 implementations concurrently. This might be a little confusing. Stick with me. Okay. We're going to do Cursor and Lovable concurrently. And this gives me like 2 implementations. I can compare which one I prefer. And also, while the AI is generating, I can switch to the other. If this is like too much for you, don't worry. You can just do one at a time. That's fine. I'm just like a crazy person. So it's just me being kind of crazy. So I apologize in advance. But I do want to show you Lovable. So here's lovable.dev. I'm not using the free tier. You can see I've got 2 little projects here. I'll do a 1 minute on each just to show you what I've done. So I made a language model marketplace, which has Stripe integration. Oh, I need to upgrade my Supabase. I didn't do that. Okay, this is not going to work because it's out of compute. This is not going to work. Yeah. I'm actually going to skip Lovable completely in that case, because it just won't work because I don't have any compute cycles left on Supabase unless I go in and update it, which I'll do out of the stream. Okay, so the idea here is that this is like, you can make your own custom models and then people can go sell their own like chats. Like maybe you want to chat. This one is for like scripture, like Christian scripture. And like, hey, like chapter Matthew 5. What are the different interpretations, different translations? What do different denominations say about that chapter? What do critics of the Bible say? What does the scholarship say? What does the science say? So it's like a comprehensive Bible study tool and reference tool. This is one chat that you can subscribe to. And there are others. I'm actually surprised that worked. I thought I was at a compute cap. Maybe because the month rolled over. I don't know how that compute cap works, to be honest with you. Well, if it works, let's try it. Maybe it's just cached. Maybe that's why I can see it here, because the view is cached. But you can see there's like different, so here's the one, and then there's like different stuff. And the users can go in and like buy the ones that they care about or use the free tools, which can include ads and rate limiting. So it's a chat app store, basically. And this, I think I'm going to release this soon. It's still in development, but I think I'm going to release it soon. So look forward to that. And then the other is kind of like this card game that we just did, except it's using Lovable instead of Cursor. Now, I found Cursor to work better. Why did I find that? Part of it was because of the compute cap. So when I did that local development with Cursor with SQLite, I can do as many iterations as I want, and I don't get like blocked by Supabase and the compute cap. Now, eventually, once it's ready to ship, I need a cloud database. So I'm going to go to Supabase. But it's just, when do you do that? Up front or later on? I've found so far both can work. So both options can work. But I like iterating a bunch locally. You saw how many times I had to wipe the database. I'd rather not do that with Supabase. I like to get it stable, and then I can ship a version to production using Supabase. And if ideally I'm making money on it at that point, so I don't care about paying for Supabase. It's not that much, but at the end of the day, I think it currently is basically a prerequisite to this workflow that you're going to have a paid cloud database provider. I don't really see scaling a commercial app for free. If you can see how to do it, like, let me know. So you can do a portfolio piece for free, but for like one that people are actually paying for, I think you can pretty much expect that you're going to be paying that paid tier. Quick demo of this. You can see it looks a little different. Lovable just made a different UI. That's fine. It looks a little bit different, right? I don't have WASD. I don't have keyboard, but I have these buttons, which is actually nice in a way because this would work better on a cell phone, wouldn't it? And then if I get into a battle, battles just like aren't really well implemented here. You can see there's a giant slime with a power of 5, and so I'm just cooked, and there's no way I can win. The monster was too strong, so I got defeated. It kicked me out of the dungeon. So that's how this flow works over here. I think the best strategy is just don't fight a monster because they will kill you. Oh, okay. Let me run away. I ran away and I had to run out of the whole dungeon. Let me avoid that little monster icon. Here's a treasure. Nice. Found 5 gold. Let's go. I'm rich. 5 gold, homie. And there's the exit. We found the exit. Next floor. Boom. So in this one, you can see I can dive like multiple floors down. Although my gold reset. That's a bummer. All right. Anyway, those are limitations on how much implementation has been done. They're not limitations on the AI. Another constraint with Lovable, you need to pay for the Lovable platform itself. But here's something that's really cool. One-click publishing. One-click publishing, which I don't have in that Cursor IDE flow. I need to go like separately publish it to a website. Okay. So if I want to do this your mom says you're not reading chat. Oh, I mean, off and on I am. Welcome in from Kick. Thanks for being here. What are you making AI? I am guessing. I'm using AI. I'm not making AI. Although in the model marketplace, I did make some models. Okay, so I think I'm going to ask Lovable to use SQLite, which I don't know if it'll work. But let's give it a prompt here. Create a website that allows me to, 1, learn JavaScript, including an in-browser code runner. 2, access flashcards with JavaScript, HTML, and CSS facts. 3, it uses SQLite for now, so that I don't need to worry about that Supabase cap. Users can sign up with user password for now. Yeah, that's fine. Really, I want to have the Google authentication, but I won't do that in this stream. I've already proven Google authentication works. Like in this model marketplace, you can sign in, sign up with Google, and it works. It works fine. Continue with Google. Yeah, it's because I'm inside of this lovable.dev page. If I go out here, let's continue with Google. Good. Good. And so you can see like my Google account is linked. You can link Discord if you want. You can delete your account. So this already works. The problem is that I can't load the models because of that compute cap from Supabase. But it was working, trust me, bro. So I don't need to prove that I can do Google Auth. I already know that I can. And it's something you can do inside of a day. Which with the Latterly website, it's taking much, much longer. What else do I want to do? I would like it to connect to LinkedIn. Publish, yeah, I don't think I can do that right now. Take quizzes and pass them. Let's try it, why not? If I pass a quiz, let me publish a credential to my LinkedIn profile. And this will be a game changer because at Latterly I have yet to do that. And it's a core feature that I'd like, so that if you go learn to code on Latterly, you can publish a credential to your LinkedIn profile. So if Lovable can help me do that, that's like a reason I might shift into Lovable. Literally, I would leave the whole Latterly website behind because pretty much all the other stuff it can do. Light mode, dark mode, Lovable can do. Stripe integration, Lovable can do. All right, so let's get going. Would you like me to proceed with implementing the front end while you connect Supabase? See, I understand why. Toby, Merry Christmas, see you. I understand why, but Lovable really pushes you to integrate Supabase, and I understand why. But that compute cap is a real pain. Okay, so let's try the same prompt on Cursor. I'll get out of the Evergreen crawl folder. I'm still in the one-shots repo. I'll make a new composer session. This is a new composer session. I'll wipe out its context, so it's basically starting from scratch. Let me make a directory. This will be learn to code. And I'll deactivate Python. So if I say which Python, I'm not using my Evergreen virtual environment anymore. Okay. And I'll say let's build this in I'll make a directory cd learn to code. Workspace gen AI one shots / learn to code. Look at that, it's going for Prisma. Dig it. This is why I like the agent. Compare this to the previous experience where I used the normal mode. It will print the file in the UI, and then I need to like copy it over, make the file, paste it. Big user experience when I can just accept all like that. Would you like me to continue implementing any of these specific components? Yes, okay. Let's do create user authentication. Oh, shouldn't paste it there. Oh, it made the stuff in the wrong location. Move all of this code to So I'll accept these. I want to see my I want to see my git diff update here. It's not placing it in the right location. Where are these things? Gen AI one-shots. I don't know where it's putting these files, dude. Where? Let's open Reveal in File Explorer. Let me open up File Explorer myself. Okay, so this PC, I guess I won't put that on screen. Yeah, got it. Okay, so what had happened was it made a folder called C inside of C. So that should not be there. All right, and then it's gonna, I'll have to clean that up after the stream. Okay, so it's put the files in the wrong place. So you see, developers aren't cooked. We need to be able to move the files that Cursor built. Oh, my video is frozen. What a bummer. Let's see if I can recover that. Okay, I think the video should be good. Let me know if the video is messed up, chat. Thanks for being here. TikTok question. Oh, Her Demon, thanks for the follow. What do you think of the capability of this tool? I'm referring to this AI thing you are using. I like both of the ones that I've shown. Gil, currently a CS student, what should I do? Graduate? Should I learn to code from the basics or just be a pro at AI? Learn both. Copy paste of VS Code. Nope, it's a whole lot more. Is this Cursor? Yes. Cursor is a whole lot more than VS Code. Although the UI is pretty similar, which is a good thing. It's a fork of VS Code. But the AI tools are deeply, deeply integrated in a way VS Code can't do. It's still getting the location wrong. Let me make a README. Maybe this will help anchor the AI. Update this README appropriately. It didn't update the file. I don't see any update to the README file that I sent you at. Dude, it's just not getting it. Okay, let me start over completely. Let me wipe out this cursor. Update this README to say hello. I'm accepting changes, and now we've latched onto the file. Great. Okay. So now let me go get my initial prompt over here. In this, in the directory containing this README, Whoa, what's up with the messed up indentation? That's kind of crazy. So this looks better. You can see all the ways that the AI by itself can be so clumsy. This is what we mean when we say that AI is not taking your job. A developer that knows how to use AI is taking your job. I have to work with it to even get it to put the files in the right place, right? Look, what is up with this composer, dude? It's doing the right thing, but it's like not putting the file there. Well, at least it knows that it's having trouble. Okay, that's how it's confused again. It wants to make learn to code inside of this learn to code folder. All right, so we're going to try and anchor the AI again. I ran and created that's inside of the client folder, and created client Thank you for clarifying. I see the directory structure exists now. And you can see the files are popping up in the expected location now. Good. Okay, so getting it to latch onto the right directory location is like a pain point. Miko, thanks for the follow. All right, so we'll accept these. And let's see what it's got going on now. So now I'll delete the temp.txt. Here's database. Like, what should I do next? What should I do next? Got it. Okay. Update this README to distinguish between the client and server folder, including setup instructions on how to run each component. And now it's finally updating that README. Good. Okay. Well, it truncated this bit because, okay. Because of the triple back tick. It's like interrupting itself. That's crazy. The AI is having a syntax issue. Let me copy this down. I wonder if it even knows that it had a syntax issue. Okay, there's the project structure. Start the development server. npm run dev. Okay. I don't think this is true, though. I don't think this is true, though. Let's try it. I can't run npm run install all in the root dir as instructed. Cool, so it's making that top level package JSON. Now let's try it again. Cool. So this kind of worked. Install worked, but I see some issues running on Windows this way. I think it used like a Linux syntax for running concurrently like that. All right, now we're kind of off to the races though, like it's actually updating things. Let's reinstall and run. Running both from root yields these terminal issues. Should we just run in two terminals? Michael, hey man, you've probably already answered this many times. What is the tool you're using? I'm using Cursor. Thanks for being here, Michael. Cursor Composer in the agent mode with Claude 3.5 Sonnet. Okay, and so now it basically agreed with me, like, yeah, dude, like run it in two different terminals. Okay. So here we'll run the client. Let me npm I again. npm run dev. And then here I'll cd server. Let me reinstall the server. And it wants me to run dev. I was just checking on that. It's not npm start. Yeah, so that seems to be working. So we have the server on 3001 and we have the client 5173. Is this client warning an issue? Is the Claude MCP agent writing all components and packages, or are you using the composer for each? Well, the Claude agent exists inside of the composer, so I'm not sure that I understand your question. But you can see what it's doing, right? It's building like all the things. So I'll close these two. We're on 5173. I get an error. Because it's referencing some missing components. It's like, okay, cool, let me go make them. And so it knows that it's still missing some components. So I'll paste the error. I'll say, let's make the missing components. Thank you, question answered. Thanks, Steven, thanks for being here. Hey, y'all, consider liking the video. Mina, you still have request limitations with Cursor AI, question mark? I have not run into them. And I have worked with this thing for hours on end, doing like hundreds of questions. Now, it does depend which model you pick. So if you go down to the 01, then it's usage-based. But as long as I stick with Claude, I think I can just run this thing unlimited. Now I'm paying for Cursor, but it's not usage-based. It's a monthly flat fee, if I'm not mistaken. You know, double check, et cetera, et cetera. But that's what I think is the case. How much do you pay a month? Well, you can just check Cursor pricing. So I think I'm on the Pro here. Yeah, I don't use business. I'm on the Pro, 20 bucks a month. Unlimited slow premium requests. But you can see, like, I don't think it's that slow, unless maybe these are the fast ones. I don't know. So I guess it will rate limit you at some point. I guess that's what it does. In the web console, I see is just regular ChatGPT an issue, or it's a lot faster having it inside your IDE? It is a lot faster. It is a lot faster to use the IDE. I don't need to copy the files over. It's editing like many files at once. Okay, cool. So we got this Learn to Code homepage. And this is what's crazy. I can just ask it to improve the styling. Improve the styling. Consider a nice color palette with light and dark mode. Tailwind, CSS, if useful. I'll just say consider Tailwind CSS. Shad CN UI. Let me go ahead and commit where we're at before I do that. So I'll say feat init learn to code. $361 likes on TikTok. Chat, consider tapping the like button on TikTok to give the video some more likes. That will help the algorithm send it around. Let me see my other chat. Halil, welcome on YouTube. Thanks for being here. Okay, do I need to install some stuff? Yep, need to install this stuff. So I'll stop my server. Get Tailwind with the forms. Okay. So there's some kind of a syntax issue. Wouldn't you hate to do all this stuff by hand? I would. Looks a lot better now, doesn't it? We got light mode, dark mode. Boom. I've never implemented light mode, dark mode that fast. Never implemented light mode, dark mode that fast. So this will be style, light and dark mode. Okay. 3D card flipping animations. That's crazy. So let's go flashcards. So create 20 flashcards touching on key HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and React concepts, including the DOM, CSS selectors, semantic HTML, the body tag, what is a React fragment? What else? Click handlers, and much more. Let each flashcard have a question on one side and an answer on the other. So it's going to do it with SQL. We love that. No hard coding. Then we're going to need to make sure that the front end is connecting to the back end. Are commits just version history? Yes, that's right. User 007, thanks for this. You're welcome. Merry Christmas. Thank you for being here. Hope you'll consider following the page. Thanks so much for adding likes on the video. We're over 600 likes on TikTok now. Okay, so the UI, what's my route here? The UI indicates no flashcards available. Did we connect the front end and back end properly? Thanks for the rose. Thank you so much. Oh, over 800 likes. Hey, now we're really cooking. 2 roses. ck.cal. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Keep them coming. 3 roses. Thank you. This is not landing you a job. Yeah, the point of the current stream is not to land you a job. Although I will say, you can build your portfolio projects with AI. And I encourage you to do that. The portfolio projects themselves will get you an interview. You're right. They won't get you the job. They will get you an interview. Then you need to figure out, along with social networking. So you have portfolio, you have social networking. That's how you get an interview. But then how do you get the interview to the job? Well, that's a whole bunch of interview prep. And this is not to do with interview prep today. You're right. All right, so it's creating... AI will not replace anyone, but people who can incorporate AI in their workflow will. 100% agree. Yeah, I said that earlier in the stream. That was the same quote that I gave. And I totally agree with that. I think in 2025, that's the right mindset. Engineers are not going away. AI is not taking engineering jobs. But engineers that use AI will retain their jobs, their career will perform better, and being able to use AI will help you get one of those roles in the first place. So you should be using AI, even at the early career entry level. Like junior to senior, everyone should be getting into AI. Thanks for the heart. Some kind of interesting heart. Thank you, CK Cal. Okay, so I'm going to npm run seed. Seeded successfully. Let's run dev. We have cards. We have cards, y'all. And so this is feature db seed. I'm a director of operations. These tools help make people better at their performance, easier work-life balance. Steven, thank you so much. Thank you for your perspective and thank you for being here. Everything you just said sounds true to me. What is the DOM? It is a programming interface, whatever. I mean, even if it's wrong. So obviously before I ship this to production, some of the things that I'm skipping in the stream, right? I'm gonna go through and review all of these statements to make sure that I agree with them. So just because AI wrote it is not a way for me to get off scot-free. Like if I ship it and people are using my product, I'm responsible for the quality of that product. So peer review, if you're in a corporate setting, you submit a pull request, you're responsible for what you asked your teammates to review. So don't just tell them, oh, AI did that. I don't really know why we're doing that. Like, oops, sorry, AI did that. Not a good thing to say. You draft your pull request. You can use AI to help you draft it. Or a document, not even code, just like a product document, requirements document, an essay. AI helps you draft it, then you're reviewing it, and you ultimately need to own whatever it says. Okay, but do you think AI early in your career journey is bad? No, and I think that's new. In 2025, so if you asked me 6 months ago, I might have said yes. But in 2025, it's not the case. I consider, so 10 search techniques. Go watch this video on my YouTube channel. Give it a like. I didn't even like it myself yet. There you go. This will explain my entire mental model. So it's AI first now. It's not AI only. There's more than 10 search techniques. But in 2025, it is AI first. It's the new Google. You don't start by Google searching. You don't start by reading the JavaScript or HTML specification. You don't start by going to Stack Overflow anymore. You go to the AI first, and then when it screws up, you basically bail out to the next best strategy. So there's these 10 search techniques in order. It's a prioritized ordered list, and there's strategies for when do you pull which one. Okay, so AI first. I'm 100% on the AI first train. That doesn't mean there's no trade-offs. But shouldn't you understand the fundamentals before using AI? What is the most fundamental skill? Ask yourself this question 3 times. Repeat the question because you didn't hear me. What is the most fundamental skill? The answer is search and communication. And that's why search techniques, whatever you learn, anything you learn, you're going to need to find a way or a place to learn it. How do I even No, it's not problem solving. You can't solve the problem unless you can read the problem. So you need to be able to, like, literacy is first. Communication is first. Does that make sense? Language models are an English interface. They are a semantic interface. You can speak to them. You don't even need to know the technical vocabulary. What is a head tag? I don't know what that means. I'm putting myself in the shoes of somebody who doesn't know how to code. What is a click listener? What is that? What is a form tag? You don't even need to know the tech. So in the old world, you at least needed to know the technical words to even go to Google and do a keyword search, right? In the new world, you don't. I can upload an image and I can say, hey, ChatGPT, help me understand like the different components in this picture. You will learn fundamentals of JavaScript. You will learn fundamentals of HTML. But the way that you will learn them is you will learn them in an AI first way going forward. So I'm not going to go read the HTML specification to understand HTML fundamentals. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to explain how websites are built. And it's going to tell me about HTML. So I should focus on sharpening my communication skills. Communication is so important. From junior level to the interview, on the job, all the way up to, we have Steven in the chat, the director. They can tell you communication scales. Communication skills and search skills are the most important skills upstream of all other skills. And then yes, after you understand like the search techniques, you're going to want to know HTML. But that comes along with it because here's what I do. I go to ChatGPT and I use English to say, I would like to build a portfolio piece. I would like it to be a blog. I would like to have these features. And it will tell you, okay, here's the answer. And the answer is going to be HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And that's how you learn it. You learn by building. That's how you get your fundamentals in place. And then you can move on to interview prep. So once you understand the basics of coding, which includes fundamentals of coding, but it's an AI first learning mental model, now you can go over to LeetCode. And don't buy this idea that LeetCode is fundamentals. No, it is not. LeetCode is an abstract step. Data structures and algorithms, abstract step. After you learn the concrete step of how to actually code. /nrant. Thanks for being here, chat. Okay, so we have these. Look, I mean, you can learn the fundamentals with this flashcards that I just made. Go clone it down. What is a React fragment? There you go. That's right. It's the empty tag in React. Thanks for the advice, man. You're welcome, Michael. Hey, consider signing up at Latterly. You can sign up for free and join the Discord. And you can chat with me there. I'd love to hear about your progress. Okay, log in, register. Let's register. I don't know. Dude, bro. IDK. We got the censored password. That's good. IDK at nah. You're cooked. Okay. Dude, bro. Nice. Look, I'm logged in, homie. We built an authentication system in 10 minutes, dude. All right, there's some kind of Axios error down here. I don't care. I'm going to call the stream there. Thanks for being here. I'm pretty sure we could implement quizzes in another 10, 15 minutes. So I might build a new website. But for now, check out latterly.io. You're cooked. You're cooked if you think that your job is coding. In 2025, your job, my job, it's not coding anymore. We need communication. We need to be able to work with AI. AI is not doing it for us. We're going to work with AI. Prompt engineering. You saw the pitfalls. You saw the way the AI got trapped. How do you untrap it? And coding is important, but it's like the second skill. It's the means to the end. The end is we're building products for users, right? We're building products for users. And if you think that reading through the JavaScript specification or reading through the Kotlin docs is the way to do it, you're cooked. But